Welcome back to another episode of the Back for the Thought. So I think for today's topic specifically, it was kind of triggered by a Substack or an Instagram post by Woke Salaryman. So for those of you who haven't followed them or don't know them, I think you're living in a cave. I think they have like few 100,000 followers on Instagram and they like draw phenomenal comics. So just a shout out. So I think there was this title that came out, or at least this comic that they drew or recently released or published with the title, Why It Makes Perfect Sense That Real Estate or Insurance Agents and FAs Are Braggy. So I think before I even start off or kickstart this topic, feel free to leave in the comments on what you guys think. I would believe that most of us that are like adults, you guys are earning money, you guys have your own personal FA and real estate agent if you are in the process of buying or selling houses. So what's your perspective on it before you watch our commentary? Feel free to leave in the comments on your perspective. And of course, also smash the cute little like button. But I think before that, maybe I'll just get Kunti to share his opinions on this whole topic itself.
Yeah, actually, this discussion doesn't start from the comic. That was just a cover. It actually started from our group chat discussion, talking about some of the comments here and there. I won't point out which one. Some of them coming from the YouTube comment section. Some of them come from, let's say, like Telegram group discussion and so on. So Eric and I was like, we were discussing about like some people commenting things, and then he said something that I found it quite interesting. He said, actually, when I decide whether I want to listen to that person, a particular person, first thing I would want to check is that how much the person is earning. Then I found that that's quite interesting. Is that means that those who don't earn big monies, their opinion is useless. So that was my first thought. And after I think deeper, I think that actually this is quite true. Because people who earn big money is usually, okay, maybe I would say maybe correlation, but not like causation, not like 100%, right? But usually these are people who, like very smart, know how to achieve good things in their life. And so their opinions, we should listen more, right? Why would you listen to someone who like achieved no success in life, right? So I think that this is quite interesting, and I wanted to ask Eric to comment more on this. Then that comic come out like as a like I said as a cover. So basically, he's saying that actually people know that successful people give good advices. That's why even for financial consultants or property agents, at least they try to appear rich when they are conducting their business. So I think there's some connections there. But I'll pass over to Eric to comment more whether I get the same understanding or not. I think I'm sure he has a lot more to share.
Okay, thanks Wunti for throwing me under the bus. Appreciate it. Yeah, yesterday I saw a news on Instagram. Some lorry went over a guy because he was in the blind spot. I don't even think I'm in your blind spot, but yet I'm thrown under the bus. But anyway, so for that remark, right, as in like I only listen to people who I think earns quite a good amount. I think I'm referring to like in terms of financial stuff. Like if you're trying to teach me how to make money, you're trying to like give investing advice, and then you're not really that well to do. I think it's quite not prudent of me to take your whatever you're pitching hook, line, and sinker. Because I basically take advice from people who has been there, done that. So like referring to the comic again, right? Woke Salaryman, he talked about why insurance agent and property agents, they need to seem as if they are very successful, and how best to do that other than like flashy cars, like nice watches, like wow, all their clothes very expensive. You can see this t-shirt, right? Obviously it is the opposite. Like it's the maybe like those $3 kind of t-shirt. Yeah, so there are certain professions that obviously we need them to show us that you are doing well. You are actually listening to your own advice, you're acting on it, and you are prospering. So okay, means that you know something that I don't. Maybe let me listen to you a bit more. Then if you're like, if you're not like doing that well, then you say, let me sell you some course, teach you how to make passive income. then obviously you're not making the passive income yourself, right? Then I listen to you like, okay, then I become your passive income. Lor. Yeah, so that there needs to be a healthy level of skepticism, I feel. Yeah, but this is only pertaining to the financial side, right? Obviously, like for example, if my pastor were to advise me some spiritual matter, right? I don't say, let me see how much you're earning. No, no lah, that is a different authority, different sphere, right? Yeah, like in my education sphere, also we don't look at people like, oh, you want to teach me chemistry? Yeah. Nah, let me see how much you're earning first. Nobody does that, right? Yeah, so different field. I think we measure the success differently. So basically, for me, I'm talking about the finance side lah. If you're advising me on investing.
Yeah, but I think definitely we are not talking about things outside of investing. For sure, let's say if you want to learn gardening, I wouldn't say you have to learn from someone who is rich, right? But come back to the investing topics, and we can even include like business, entrepreneurship, all this. Say for example, Kelvin or Chikeng or myself, right? We're trying to give some ideas on teaching you how to earn more money, how to investing better. Will you listen to three of us?
So the thing is, right, what makes you think that I will listen to you? Like what kind of credential do you bring?
No, I'm not assuming here. I'm just plain questions, right? I'm not saying you should listen to me because I have such and such and such. No. I'm just asking, will you listen? And not just me, like including Kelvin and Chikeng as well.
I'm asking you back the question. Like, so what do you have such that I should consider listening, like in the first place? Like I haven't thought about this at all. I haven't like you guys never.
What if it's an idea generation?
Sorry?
It's a new way of doing things. It's a new idea, like it's just throwing up new ideas.
New idea we always pitch to Chikeng first. Because he's new, ma. He's like new to the workforce. We pitch to him, let him try first.
He's sidestepping the question. But I think what Bunti is trying to say, or he's trying to establish is in a way where when you're put in the position when probably people that are not richer or not, but even though it relates to financials, would you bother listening? Would you base the understanding on the merits of the argument or the merits of the opinion rather than purely from the earning power of that person?
I think we also have to consider the merit of the idea. Some ideas they inherently they make sense. Like if maybe I don't know if Kelvin like propose, hey, this T-bill thing, right? You can do this, and then you can do the ladder, whatever knot thing, right? Then I think about it, hey, this thing actually makes sense. I can leverage this. I earn the don't know what cashback, and after that I still can stack the spending. I still can get this cash back. So if I think about the idea, it makes sense, kick around a bit, and then I try it out, and it somehow works on a small scale, then maybe I'll adopt it. It doesn't mean to say that I look at Kelvin, you earn less than me. Then I don't think about the idea. I think that's a bit short-sighted. But what I'm saying is like, if I don't know the person, right, one of the things that I will be looking at is how successful is he in following his own ideas. Yeah, a lot of people have a lot of opinions, but like they just keep telling you, oh, do this, do that. They're not even successful doing it.
Just a fun fact, like the stuff that I say, some of it are like, for example, T-bills, invest your CPF and stuff. Some of it I don't follow myself. But the reason I don't follow it myself is it's not that I think it's a bad idea. The reason I'm sharing is because I think it's a good idea. It's just that it's not fit for my own personal style. Like for example, if I'm trying to retire early, I shouldn't be topping up so much to CPF, topping up into SRS, invest so much into bonds, stuff like that. Because for me, I prefer higher risk, higher reward, that kind of thing. But if you are the kind who prefer safe investments and stuff, then bonds is a good choice. So then back to what Eric, but back to the original discussion. People look at earnings because they relate earnings to better whatever, right? I think it's very true at this part. Like for example, if you compare among YouTubers, the YouTubers who have higher subscribers will often get invited to events, to talk at events, compared to those who have lesser subscribers. But it doesn't mean that for example, in my case, I'm more successful than, for example, like Jiking, right? If you ask about China stuff, he's the expert here, lah. Then this is the same for advertisements. For example, if you watch YouTube, halfway through Adam Khoo will appear. Then he will start with, I made $1 million in the first half of this year. This is his proof that he's successful. Then people will start trusting him. Or even like for Chloe, right? The options thing. She'll show out her entire table of medals. Oh, I'm in the middle of preparing these medals for this guy. Right? Because this shows that she is successful, she's trusted by all these students. So in a way, I think everyone has to show something to prove their success. Whether it's reliable or not, that's another matter altogether. So for everyone, I think you have to take whatever advice with a pinch of salt, then see whether it applies to you or not.
If I can jump in here, right, to circle back or to at least close the discussion just now that Bunti asked, right? I think the premise of this discussion is a bit flawed in a way where, because he was asking on the grounds that we are already friends with Eric, meaning we have already passed the first filter where you know each other long enough and stuff. So I think what Eric is projecting, or at least that money earnings filter, right, is really for people that he don't really know, people on the internet, people that approach him for the first time. That's the fastest, most efficient way to figure out, like at least in the financial sphere, what is. Don't waste too much time. So, which is why I think people tend to forget that when you're on social media, you get exposure by like multiple posts, and you have hundreds of people finding you every day, and you have limited time every day. So I think the easiest filter or the easiest heuristics to kind of go through the quality of the people is to use earnings power. Even though it sounds very crude, but that's probably the most efficient way for you to go about your life, because they all have kids, they all have wives to attend to, so they don't have every time in the world to attend to everybody. So I think that was the how the thought process went through. But I think from Bunti's question, when you go, you know a certain type of people, you let them come into your life, you have a certain benchmark or certain criteria. So when they are already part of that sphere, there is a different filter that is applied. Not so much so that, oh, because you earn more than me, I should listen to you, or you earn less than me, I shouldn't listen to you. I think that in itself, the premise of the discussion is a little bit weird, or at least not as accurate when we are talking about this discussion. But yeah, I will pass time over to Bunti.
Actually, I think hard about the questions that Eric asked me back, right? Like, what do I have to offer, right? Which I can answer on behalf of many other people also. I think one thing that we never lack of is we have a perspective, lah. Like you always see things from your perspective. I always see things from my perspective. And the reason we are having a discussion on the same topic is that we all tend to have different view. When we have the same view, it's getting so boring. Eric tell me Tesla is good. Then I tell Eric, do you know Tesla is actually good, very good investment. Then what are we discussing about, right? But come back to the point is that I find it quite interesting because let's say someone, right, quite like random people, it's not even a friend, right? And things get interesting when he has a different opinion, right? Say, for example, he want to tell you, Eric, you have been telling us Tesla is so good, but actually, do you know that there's a big risk that you are facing? Something that no one talk about, for example, right? Then it's like, okay, he started to want to give some of the point, the thesis, right, the bad thesis. But you look at him, it's like, wow, this guy is not even, has been in workforce for so many number of years. I don't see any success. You don't look like successful from all any other angles. I don't even want to start to listen, Then I think like what Chicken just mentioned, this filter, I wouldn't say it's bad one. Of course, people are using it because, it works most of the time. But would it be too harsh if you apply this kind of filter? Given that I think people with insights, right, doesn't mean that the person is like earning big monies, having their own business or high ranking in companies, right? That is not necessary. So some people, they just read a lot and then they just listen a lot and they have some interesting, good perspective. Doesn't mean that we have to agree, right? But still, I think if we apply too big of a filter, then would that cause us to, limit too much info, and then it will become like an echo chamber. So I was asking myself that now. Yeah.
I wanted to ask also to probe further. So on a daily basis, how much time do you spend to give other people the chance to share their perspective in your life? So if I can understand your process, like for Bunti, because you were talking about getting other people's perspective, right? How
Yeah,
much
I
time do
think
you-
it's hard to count the time, but usually, for me, I will. Okay, in terms of filter, right? Let me explain that. In terms of filter, I think I don't have as much this kind of filter, like to look at the person's whether he's earning or not. But usually, in terms of how to save time, I will try to prop a few questions and try my best within as short period of time, try to determine whether this person has insight or not. If the person has insight, then we can always, like lengthen the discussion, talk about 1 hour or more, just to extract as much insight as possible. But sometimes if I, just like 1 or 2 probing, I found the person don't have any insight, then I will just cut short this discussion. Is this a bias or not? I would say it is still a biased one. Is this a filter that is not fair to the person? I think yes, but at least that's how I'm using my filter. Different people, of course, different filters. But my question is more like, okay, if we just take this like earning powers as the filter, is it a good one? And what's the pro and con? I'm not saying good and bad. Yeah, just comparing different kind of filters.
Okay, I think for the, I mean, as time do not permit, if you guys have any other further comments in terms of how you guys think about these discussions and the different filters used or different heuristics used, please feel free to leave in the comment section down below as well. I think for myself personally, I think at the end of the day, at least in my phase of life, I do apply. I mean, earnings is probably one of the filters that I use personally as well. Although it might sound very crude, it might sound very pragmatic, but I think sometimes we need to get things done quick. And I mean, personally, I do have a okay size audience and I get a lot of comments coming my way every single day. So which is why I need to kind of speed up the process and to make it more efficient. But that's my way. Of course, there are, I totally agree with Bunti, by the way, that in terms of how there are people with unique insights, but I might not be ready to take the insights anyway. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the discussion. We'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.